Hi, I'm Sunitha. I'm a senior volunteer with Samaritans Mumbai. Samaritans Mumbai is an NGO that works in the field of suicide prevention and mental wellness. It's a helpline that was started, it was in fact the first helpline which was started outside Samaritans UK by Chad Vera, who was the founder of Samaritans. So the principle behind our NGO and any other helpline is to provide a space for someone who may be having a lot of things on their mind that is really bearing down upon them. So think about it for a minute. When there is something that is troubling you, what is to stop you from turning around and talking to your friends? Just look around you. You're surrounded by people. Yet, amidst all of that, what is it that could really make you feel all alone? Fear. Fear of being judged. Fear of whatever you share being passed around. So, if you just turn that around, what we offer as the first and foremost guarantee is confidentiality and no judgments. Whatever anybody calls and talks to us stays with us. It doesn't leave the center. If somebody doesn't want to reveal who they are, because the fear of judgment that we spoke about, then we offer them that anonymity as well. So when you are not afraid of being judged and you're not afraid that what you share is going to go around and come back to hurt you, then perhaps you feel a little more comfortable. Welcome to listening. Listening is not as obvious as what it sounds. All of us are listening all the time, right? Yet, we are not really picking up what the other person is trying to tell us. What is it that we are not picking up? We are hearing the words. We are understanding the content. You know what we are not picking up? It's feelings. So at Samaritans, we offer emotional support. So obviously, when somebody is burdened by problems and they call us, we can't help them with the problems. We can't resolve their problems for them, right? What can we do? We literally are listening to what they are going through. If you take an example of a student who's struggling with studies, worried about exam results, what are the kind of feelings that they may be going through? Fear of failure, extreme worry, anxiety, perhaps some panic, frustration that, I'm studying so much and yet I'm not able to really convert it, worry about the future, worry about what their parents are going to think about them, what your friends are going to say. It can just go on. Now you think of someone else who's being bullied. What are the kind of feelings that they are going through? Fear, anxiety, panic, fear of being judged. Can you begin to hear all the feelings that may be common across different circumstances? So that is what we do at Samaritans. We are listening to what you feel. The kind of stresses that are bearing down upon a person can become so much that, perhaps they may be self-harming or they may be having suicidal thoughts. Now, suicide is not something which is very easy to talk about, and yet the more we talk about it, the more a person is comfortable to open up. Supposing you were to even mention the word suicide, there is an instinctive reaction to stop the topic, right? So that is one of the biggest myths around suicide, that talking about it plants the idea in someone's mind. Actually, talking about it normalizes the extreme feelings that the person may be feeling. That is what we do. When someone is really having very difficult feelings that are leading them to think of harming themselves or taking their own life, what we provide is a safe space where they can freely talk about everything that is bothering them without any fear of judgment, without being told what to do, without being told, no value judgments, that this is not a worthy enough fear or this is not a problem that is so big that you must, feel so worried about it. So many a times there is also the fear not only of being judged but also of being trivialized. That this problem is like nothing much. How many times have you heard that, you're so young, you have your whole life ahead of you. This problem will also pass. Tomorrow's another day. You have the rest of your life ahead of you. All of that is true, but it doesn't help you when you're going through a difficult time. Guess what might help? What might help is when someone just listens to what you have to say. Again, welcome to listening. So listening is something that is tuned in to not only the words that are being spoken, but the feelings that one is picking up, right? And this is possible through what we call empathy. Empathy is the ability to enter into and experience the feelings of another person by trying to imagine what they may be going through in that particular circumstance. It may not be what you will go through. It may not be something that is comprehensible to you. It may not be that you can understand very easily, that maybe just failing in an exam is enough for the person to feel so distressed, as opposed to someone who's had an accident and who's been in the hospital. So the varying magnitudes of the problem a person is going through, it doesn't necessarily give us a complete picture of what they may be feeling. How do we know what they're feeling? By talking to them. So when someone comes to us in extreme distress, where they're having thoughts of suicide, the first thing we do is simply listen to them. We just hear them out. We just tell them, we are here for you, take your time. And we are listening beyond words to the unspoken communication, to the feelings that are being expressed through non-verbal as well as verbal cues. We give them time, we give them our complete attention, and we tell them, take your time, I'm right here. Did you feel calm when you heard that? That is what we try to do. Provide a calm space for the person so they are able to talk freely. And then bring forth the skills of empathy and listening. Active listening is a skill that we at Samaritans do a lot of training for our volunteers. Empathy is something that can be developed and picked up. Right now, you may not have empathy, but it's not something that you can never pick up. It just requires taking a step back and allowing that person and that person's feelings to be out there. So the person has come to us extremely worried, upset, distressed, maybe even suicidal. We are telling them, guess what? I'm here for you. I'm listening. Research has shown that even the presence of someone who cares for you is enough, could be enough for you to just feel supported, and that can help you at a time when you are feeling really lost. So, in order to explain this, imagine if you're carrying a very big backpack, a very heavy backpack, and the more you're walking with it, it's getting heavier and heavier. It keeps pushing down upon you until you can't take it one more instant. So we are telling you, hey, take off your backpack, leave it down. Take a seat. So the backpack that you've taken off and left it down, it's still there. It's still your backpack. You still have to carry it and when you leave. But by sitting down without the backpack, your shoulders start relaxing. You can take a breath. Talk to us. As you keep talking, maybe, drink some water, you start feeling a bit more refreshed. When you get up again and carry the backpack, it's not as heavy anymore. Like I said, it's still your backpack. You need to walk out with it, but it's just less heavy. So by listening with empathy, with warmth, with respect, it's possible to help the person build up their coping mechanisms to pain. What is suicide? Suicide ultimately is the act of taking your own life, right? What brings you to that point? Like there is a brink. What brings you to that? There are so many factors that could be playing on you. It could be just the weight of living, being unable to bear the pain of living, and it keeps pushing you. But there is a fear of dying, and that is stopping you. So when the pain becomes so much that you overcome your fear of dying, then you are actually thinking that, you know what? I can't take this pain anymore. Let me end it. That is where listening helps. The person who says, I can't take it anymore, is probably feeling very alone. You know, the pain is theirs completely. But the minute somebody is listening, it's like holding someone's hand in that time when they feel all alone. Perhaps through that process, they feel supported, they feel connected, and gradually, maybe they start developing better coping in order to be able to face their problems. Because their problems, remember, are still theirs to face. So what do we do in our lives? In our lives, we try to show a little kindness, we try to show a little warmth, we try to show a little care, and we can literally do that to anybody around us. Maybe pause for a minute, look around, someone who was sounding very agitated. How about we just take a minute and say, how are you? Do you want to just tell me what's going on with you? If you don't, it's okay, but I'm still here for you, right? It's hard, I understand, but this is what really can make a difference. Sometimes one kind word could be the difference. So that is what we really do at Samaritans. And I do hope that you'll think a little bit more of listening and empathy, and do reach out to us, to speak to us about your stresses, as well as to just find out a little more. I mean, I really appreciate that you have given us this opportunity to talk to you. So as I said, it's no rocket science. It's essentially about listening, and it's about allowing the other person a safe space. Thank you so much.